have not seen either of these players in once yet, and this is indeed the winner side of things, and we are going into it immediately. These players are ready. They're ready to compete. There's no waiting here involved. We just want to get in and we want to play some Brawlhalla, Dara.
Oh, that's right. cxti already just such a dominant leader, assuming so much damage. That was such a good chase dodge, but not able to chase dodge far enough away from SAC's descending sail.
Side C coming out, not going to connect. cxti, great side springs coming out, gonna try and swap up the weapon too. In general, you can see SAC getting deeper and deeper into the red here. We're getting close to a KO. cxti trying to use some of those signatures to grab one early, but it looks like SAC is slippery right now.
Oh, absolutely, but cxti. First 40 seconds, one stock already gone. cxti just turning up the pace, playing aggressively. SAC right now just sort of playing on the back foot a little tiny bit here. Looking for that jump call out. cxti actually got past that stairs. Beautiful ground pound combos there with the downer into the neutral as well, just using the bounce of the stage. SAC is dealing a good amount of damage, but now it's time to look for that downlight. It's time to sniff out that downlight, because you know what that means? It can be a recovery. But the question is, can you connect it against the cxti who's so elusive?
SAC did indeed get a lot of damage right there. We were seeing SAC, well, quite frankly, kind of popping off there for a moment. We saw him get like 5, 6 sword aerials in a row and then getting the KO. We're seeing SAC, you know, coming back from the depths, stronger this time around on this sword, and they're ready to do some damage.
Oh, cxti tries to wait a little bit, maybe just anticipating a dodge. SAC getting that neutral light, tries to slide off with that downlight, doesn't actually find it, but really good damage, just really good bounces off the stage. SAC has all but even up the damage, but not in terms of position, not in terms of control. cxti gonna be misspacing twice, does not matter. SAC still has to descend, descends unsafely, finally fights his way back into the neutral.
Keeping it even, keeping it competitive here. SAC doing a great job at damaging cxti, but the dare is eventually going to knock them out. That is going to be 2-1 here on the scoreboard, or rather, stock board. cxti still having the stock advantage. SAC has a little bit more work to do, but this is still definitely very even.
Oil down is such a good move. You can just still pressure off stage significantly while you're nice and safe on stage. It's so non-committal. cxti took full advantage of that. But right now, SAC just needs a way to be able to close. Maybe going to be looking for like a downlight neutral with the spear.
I'm sorry, every single time I see literally a single scythe aerial off stage, you know something's about to go down.
Oh, absolutely. cxti going to be getting stage spiked. SAC following up off of the situation, just rushing out there, getting that sail with the spear, and all of a sudden it is last stock apiece. SAC has a lot of damage to make up, and cxti wanted to finish it all.
Yeah, wanted to go for the Daiku tech real quick, but SAC was ready for the punish, and it's looking like actually, yeah, they're starting to get a couple of hits here. cxti only really needs 1 or 2 true combos to get this stock off, but SAC is giving them a hard time. He's doing a lot of damage. GCD light, that could have been absolutely massive, but it's going to be the offstage encounter that's going to end up determining the outcome of the game here.
Yeah, cxti just had a lot of drift, had a lot of speed just to be able to get into, reverse the situation, just be like, hey, you thought you were going to edgeguard me? Absolutely not. I'm going to knock back with a sail of my own. But this is such like a high octane match to jump into phase 2, to jump into best of 5s. I think both of them are playing really, really solid. But yeah, look at this spike. It's so non-committal. You whiff it, you're still going to be on stage. You're safe. You're not going to have the tides flip against you.
Absolutely. Now going into the second game, we are seeing the same map, same legends. These guys don't want to mix it up. They just, well, they do probably want to mix it up, but they don't want to mix up the map or the legends. They want to mix up what they're actually doing in the game.
Oh yeah.
Keeping the outside variables the same so you can easier hone in on those small things that are determining the outcome of the game.
I love all of these like GC downlights that SAC is like throwing out after the downers, because you already know the amount of reward and damage that you can get from that is huge. But that time around, the downer into the side as well, committing to the ground pound. How did that spike not connect?
That ground pound could have been massive. That ground pound could have been so massive right there, but it's not going to be connecting, and cxti has another opportunity. This is not what SAC needs. That is what SAC needs, getting that KO. Damn, the timing on that.
Yeah, if anything Soyu does, it is bring consistency. It levels things out because you do have a lot of really stable win conditions. SAC looking to jump on in here. cxti just going to be playing keep away. Has SAC off stage. That's going to be the spike. Beautiful stuff. cxti going to be keeping the stocks even without taking too much damage.
Very even right now with cxti, of course, having the weapon advantage. SAC very quick, though, to grab a sword of his own, or rather his own sword. cxti here on the scythe. I'm looking at cxti's scythe, and again, what is coming to mind? All of these attacks off stage. Like, cxti is just waiting for the right time and place to be able to get something massive.
Look how many hits you're able to get when you expand and bait out your opponent's dodge. That's one dodge, and cxti almost had the punish. That could have been awful for SAC had that been called out.
Could have been very awful, but that's the dodge caught, which means that SAC is going to be able to do D-Light Sear with no problems. That's the stock down, and it's looking like SAC is holding a clear lead here currently in the game.
SAC keeps doing this. SAC keeps like chase dodging 2 times to be able to cross up, comes back in with the side light, dealing really effective amounts of damage. But Cutie with that pickup, oh my god.
I feel like in general, bro, Fate players don't use that SIG enough. That SIG is so good, it's so fast, it has good force, it has a good hitbox. Cutie coming out here, showing how to use that SIG, getting some damage. Not the KO just yet, but they're getting there.
Backing off a little bit, pressing that scythe in a safe distance. What's the move? What's going to be the play out here? Just backing off a little bit, just saying, hey, you're going to have to come back eventually. And SAC going to be making the situation his own. Looking for the side, but if there is anything Scythe can do, it is reverse situations. You can snap back people off stage, back where he came from.
SAC is doing a great job here. He just needs to close it out, but Cutie is giving him a hard time. Cutie is definitely still up for a fight, and all he needs is one good combo. Even really at this HP, one good hit to be able to take the stock down, and there it is finally. Able to take that down, and this is exactly what Cutie needs.
You saw SAC let go of the keyboard for a second, stretch out his hands for a little bit. What's going to be the play? Just waiting, and not actually going for the immediate weapon grab now. Has Soiled on hand. You just need one single downlight. That's all you need.
Something big off stage. If Cutie can get something big off stage, it's so doable for Cutie, but he is so close to getting knocked out. SAC practically only needs one hit to be able to take this stock out now, but he is having a hard time finding it, and SAC is all the way down at the orange. What is going on, Dara? Can this be one of the greatest comebacks in the tournament?
Look at that mix up, the weapon toss with the scythe as well. Cutie gonna be setting SAC off stage, dodging past it. That's gonna be the neutral light, but that's not the stock yet. But you have to come back from a really awful position.
Oh!
Wow.
There it is. The D-Light into the Sear, a KO that quite frankly should have came a long time ago, but it does finally come. Beautifully played. Still Cutie, amazing effort. I am astonished that Cutie was able to keep going for that long.
This is the beauty of the platform fighter. You know, at the end of the day, you're typically not winning by timeouts, you're not winning by damage. At any point, especially with Scythe, you can flip the situation off stage. You saw how many times Cutie tried to set that up, coming back on, but at that point, came on a little bit too aggressively. SAC just spaced back, was like, okay, you press this button, I'm going to be able to get this punish while you're stuck in recovery. And now we're going to game 3. 1 game apiece in this best of 5 winners bracket. This is a beautiful time.
And Dara, you know me. I've probably said this more than 100 times while casting with you. 2 points make a line. Cutie is looking good. At the end of that last game, Cutie was at a massive net positive. So far, it doesn't look like they're able to keep that up, but if they're able to find their way back there, that would be massive for Cutie, and it's looking very doable for them to take this to 2-1.
I'm so happy we get to do phase 2. You know, this is where we get these kinds of tense matches. When you have a good set, you just feel the excitement. You can hear the crowd behind you as well. You have 2 completely different regional representatives, and SAC is looking to take out that first stock with that recovery. Cutie going all the way out there. This is an off-stage battle.
Trying to get anything here to get back up, but actually the dodge with a perfect cooldown is going to be able to get back up. SAC is at orange, but Cutie is so much lower, and you're only going to need that side sig to be able to get that KO off. Now, Cutie needs to take this back ASAP.
I like SAC on Soiled so much. So many jump-ins with the downers, so many really excellent juggle attempts. SAC just gets so much damage off of like these, you know, a lot of these side lights especially, right? Just so many openings. Cutie already in the yellow, and that KO'd.
It is indeed going to be a KO still. Very even all throughout. Cutie's on this side. And for the longest time, I have been hyping up the potential for Cutie to pull out a massive string. And I am still waiting.
Yeah, for sure. Cutie, this is the start of it. This is the start of it. But then SAC actually going to be pressing neutral out of this advantage. Spear neutral. It just resets situations, man. It's a big, generous hitbox. And it's like, okay, you know what? Unless you anticipate me mashing out, I'm going to get this.
They're coming out, not going to be anything massive though. Quite even still. Cutie going to be swapping over to that orb, now looking anything around it. But the thing is, Cutie's not really able to dominate the ground here because SAC does such a great job with that spear.
Leaned in a little bit too much to actually get that spike, and because of that overcommitment, SAC got down under there, was able to, you know, take it out with that recovery, with that spear recovery, such a generous hitbox. Cutie, how do you actually get something going here? I feel like Scythe, if it's working, it is working. If it's not, you're missing and whiffing a lot, and your opponent gets into blind spots. That kind of seems to be what's happening. Cutie is not winning a lot of these interactions, and SAC is getting away with so many hits. This lead is just growing.
Absolutely. SAC is doing an incredible job at using momentum to his side, really. Whenever SAC has a lead, you very, very rarely see him drop that lead. Oh, yeah. And in general, cxti is feeling the pressure.
Woo!
The weapon throw, though, that's going to be a quick KO, and that's definitely a start. It could be the start of greatness.
Yeah, cxti just gave SAC just like, hey, you're going to ponder this oil, buddy. Just was able to take a stock out with that, and now SAC back on the spin. Going to be sent off stage. It's Scythe time, baby. It's time for all of those early KO potential, but SAC did make it back on nice and safe. But you see SAC not willing to commit off stage until they actually caught the high recovery. Beautiful. Wow.
Still extremely even. Both of these games going to last stock. You can see both of these players are feeling the pressure. These are drawn out games where you have to be focused for a long period of time. It's coming down to the marathon game, Dara, and it's coming down to whoever is going to be better at adapting. cxti overall doing a phenomenal job at sustaining his stocks, etc., but always falls just a little bit short every single stock, which in general builds up this kind of snowball effect where SAC can run away with a lead.
Yes, absolutely. I just feel like ultimately between the two, what happened was towards the end, SAC on Sword is so difficult to contest with, was winning the majority of the interactions, and then also getting a little bit more juice out of every single down, every single GC downlight. It feels like Sword brings like an element of consistency, while there is some volatility to that of Scythe if it's not really playing out. So my question is, how is cxti going to be able to manage that going into the next game? Because there's just like a lot of one hits, maybe a lot of two hits, but oh.
With a legend swap. Yeah, I was about to say that, but I can at least pretend like I was about to say that. But I had a feeling, okay, cxti, the Scythe was feeling good. Maybe the Orb not so much. Gauntlets, really good.
Oh my gosh, this is the aggression that you see. We talk about this all the time. SA, known for the aggressive play. SAC goes out there through those early ground pounds, just puts out so much damage, just looking for the next jump in. But within that downlight's going to give cxti a nice little opening. Going to be looking for the next way to get this started. Both of them backing off in just a second. Nice
sidelight coming out, going to be able to string that into a couple of hits. Going to try to keep SAC off here on the left side for as long as possible. Still very even game. Ooh. SAC, they're really just switching places between who's edge guarding and who's getting edge guarded over and over again.
And cxti almost found that neutral layer. That neutral layer could have been the start of something big, perhaps another stock. Now with Gauntlets, you have a good amount of vertical recovery. That was so committal. I'm surprised cxti didn't get punished for air dodging back onto the stage like that. Oh.
And there it is. That could be the first KO. And one thing interesting to mention there is that SAC, while he was on the sword, was always on the ground. And there is a French player that always uses this technique, or well, rather, he always stays on the ground. And that is usually to add more pressure onto their enemy by staying at the ground.
Oh, for sure. And going to be whiffing that, going to be giving SAC another opening to go in. cxti, can you find this punish? Can you find it? And then ends up actually popping that SIG in the wrong direction. I feel like that's happened to cxti a couple of times too many, especially with a lot of neutralites. Just has the good idea, but a little bit off on the spacing.
SAC trying to make their way back here. cxti having a hard time with that edge guard. And again, look at how grounded SAC is. Still, cxti is able to find that KO. But man, do you see how grounded SAC is? I mean, think about the options that SAC has on sword. He has the D-light. He can dash forward and he can sidelight. If he is on the ground, you should be scared.
Oh, and cxti just sat there, stayed patient, didn't jump. That downlight is a built-in anti-air for spear. So this is where you want to play grounded. Because look what happens when you get your jumps called out. It's an instant combo for spear. But we got to talk about these side combos, baby, because cxti is going to be looking for it all.
Oh no, that is a KO already. SAC with the I think that was either, well, I think it was either calling out the dodge or calling out the GC, because that was a lot of seconds without having a dodge.
I swear I saw the startup of cxti's dodge. It might have just happened a little bit too soon and not in anticipation of how fast the spear was traveling. But that does not matter. cxti right now in winner's stock. You absolutely have to win this game. You have to take this to a game 5. There is a lot on the line here. Nobody wants to be going down an elimination bracket this early into phase 2.
cxti absolutely needs to take it right here, but I think SAC has been looking so confident and so dominant all throughout this this last game. cxti is able to find that KO, but is it too late? cxti is all the way down at orange. SAC doesn't need to do a lot to take this home right now.
But there is, honestly, Gauntlets are such a good low, damage weapon, right? Because you got so much stuff started, but cxti ends up tossing out the Gauntlets, luckily picking up another pill. You need one neutral to get something started, but that's not going to be able to KO quite yet, but SAC had the right idea.
He had the right idea for sure. Getting that double D-light is absolutely massive. It's not going to be able to find the KO just yet, but we're getting closer and closer, baby. Cute is building up the damage, but as he catches the dodge, that is going to be knocked out, and that is 3-1 to them, advancing further into the bracket.
Wow, that was really, really tense. I think SAC played beautifully. I think SAC played aggressively. I will say, they're hugging it out too. That's something that you want to see. I think QT played exceptionally, but I think there is 1 point of difference, if I may, to like draw between the two and why SAC might have had a little bit of edge going into this. I think it's just simply SAC was waiting a little bit more on the dodges, especially after hitting like a downlight with Spill. We saw the downlight, right, which is so good at catching jumps, and it was like, okay, if you dodge, I can KO you anything past oilage because I can get a downlight, neutral light, maybe like another GC downlight, and to, you know, Spill side out. It's such a potent confirm when an opponent uses up a dodge. Whereas I feel like when QT had gauntlets, especially at the end of that last game, we saw like a lot of immediate sort of commitments to neutral light after the combo starters, which doesn't cover the preemptive dodge. So what would have covered that? QT would have just needed to be a little bit more patient in advantage, but that's what ultimately fighting games is. It's mixing up between preemptive play and reactive play. And I think, you know, you have to know how to alternate between the two. At that one moment, it felt like SAC was playing preemptively with the immediate dodges, and QT was just like not able to keep up with, you know, punishing those dodges and maybe missed out on some combo potential.